And I'm here today because we're having the Engineering Roadshow, and we have a number of companies here to actually talk to you about their career opportunities. We're keeping to a very kind of strict timetable, and each company will talk about 10 minutes with regard to their opportunities and so on. Afterwards, they'll be outside here in the entrance hall if you have any questions or whatever that you want to ask or anything that you want to follow up with. Okay, the running order of the companies that will be coming up, and they'll all introduce themselves as they come up. We have Engineering Ireland will speak to you first, then CPAN, Biomarin, Kingspan, and then Accenture. Okay, so each company will have 10 minutes, and I'll be keeping strictly to time. Okay, thank you.
How you doing, guys? I was speaking to some of you earlier on. For those who I wasn't talking to, my name is Richie Wilson. I'm the Grad Services Executive for Engineers Ireland. It's basically my job to make sure that Engineers Ireland has benefits put in place for you guys once you graduate. Now, it is strictly 10 minutes. Normally this would take a little bit longer, so I'm going to fly through it. If you have any questions at the end, unfortunately I will not be staying, but you can give me an email or a shout. My email address is orwilson@engineersireland.ie, and my telephone number is 016651317. Okay? What I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about is the employment services that Engineers Ireland has put in place specifically for you guys. I may touch briefly on the Gradual Transition Programme, the Professional Progression Programme. They are the programs that will lead you directly to becoming a chartered engineer, which is a professional title. So first and foremost, we want to help you get a job. We do that through our various different employment services that we have. We have our Graduate Placement Programme. Now that is where we will place young graduates directly out of college in a company for a fixed amount of time. It can be anywhere between 6 months to a year. It is the hope that at the end of that amount of time you will get either a full-time permanent job with them or a full-time contract with them. We have about 150 graduates placed in various different companies at the moment, some of them in Irish Rail, Diageo, Railway Accident Investigation Unit, OPW, etc. There's a couple of private companies as well that we place graduates in. How can you get involved with this? I'll kind of go through that in a second with you. Just to highlight this to you, you're all student members with us, or you should be student members with us. If you're not, probably shouldn't be in the room. But it is completely free for you guys. So you can actually apply for these various different graduate programs completely free as you're student members with us. We'll also help you find a job. There's various different jobs advertised in the jobs desk area on the Engineers Ireland website. We're finding a lot of engineering employers now are contacting us and saying, look, can you advertise this position? It's a graduate position, or it's a position that needs somebody with 10 years experience. You can simply log into the members only area. If you go to the Engineers Ireland website, that's www.engineersireland.ie. You'll see in the top right hand corner, login. Your membership number that you receive on your membership card, that is your login detail, your login name basically. And the password is whatever email address we correspond with you at. So that will be your password. Once you've kind of log in, you'll be able to go to the jobs desk and you'll be able to see any of the jobs that are currently advertised. There's about 80 up there at the moment. Some are graduate positions, there's even a couple of volunteer positions. And again, you can search via graduate positions, you can search via discipline, or you can search via pay. We also have something called a talent pool. Who here does not have a LinkedIn profile? Nobody's going to put up their hand. One person put up their hand. Okay, fair play to you. Your LinkedIn profile is your professional Facebook. It is very, very important that at the end of today, you and probably about 20 other people in this room have a LinkedIn profile. I'm pretty sure any of the people here will link up with you, link up with your class, link up with the career service, link up with UCC. It is your networking professional Facebook. We have something called Talent Pool, which is awfully like LinkedIn. It allows you to upload your CV and your profile, and should an engineering employer contact us and say, look, I need to find 2 civil engineers that specialise in marine engineering, we'll run a search. If your CV corresponds with what they are asking for, we will download your CV and we'll send it out to them. That is completely free for you. All you have to do is upload your CV and your profile. Everything else is done in the background for you. Case in point, we had two girls who got a phone call from a company in Canada, neither of which had actually asked or applied for a job, but they were both asked to come for a Skype interview with the company. One girl didn't want it, she was actually already placed in a job. The other girl, as far as I know, took the job and is presently in Canada. Again, all you have to do is upload your CV and profile. It is completely free for you. Career consultancy. This isn't free for you. I do apologise, but it's not. Generally costs about €300 to do. This isn't just a sit-down, an hour-long sit-down where they go over your CV and your cover letter. This is a complete 4-hour one-on-one workshop with a HR consultant who is specialised in engineering. In other words, they used to be an engineer. What they will do is that, generally speaking, they will contact you beforehand, a couple of days before, and they'll have a chat with you for about half an hour, just to get a feel for who you are and what you're actually looking to get out of career consultancy. When you go in, they will start looking at what you're looking to do in the next 5 years. What companies would you like to work for? What areas do you want to work for? Okay, well, you want to work in marine engineering. Well, let's have a look at these type of companies. Okay, these are the companies within that kind of field that are actually advertising for jobs at the moment. Do we actually know anybody within those companies? Does Engineers Ireland have anybody that you can leverage to get a CV in there? Let's have a look. Do we know the engineering manager in that company? We do. Okay, let's send your CV off to them. It is that kind of one-on-one workshop that will actually highlight the various different companies that you want to target in the area that you want to go for. They'll also go through your CV and your cover letter, obviously. But again, this is something that would probably be more benefit for you once you're about 1 or 2 years out of college. I wouldn't recommend that you go straight into it for the simple fact that you're going to go to college and you may not know exactly what area you want to go and get into. But if you do, just simply contact us and I'll have an argument with the Employment Services Manager and we can see if we can get a further discount on that career consultancy service for you. It just sits opposite me, so it's actually on this bullet to the side so you can discount. Networking. Otherwise known as putting yourself out there, it's probably one of the things that makes engineers very nervous, but it is essential. 50% of jobs these days aren't advertised. It's through networking. It's who you know, not just what you know. Engineers Ireland want to put you in the best position for you to actually be able to contact the various different engineering managers, people who could be 10, 15, 30 years out in the industry, chartered engineers, project managers, people that you'll be able to meet through the various different Engineers Ireland networking events. The Cork region, I'll talk about the Cork region first. The Cork region is actually probably the most active engineering region, Engineers Ireland division. They meet once a month in either UCC, CIT, or somebody told me this earlier, the Roadshow Town Park Hotel. Is that right? Yes. They'll run various different technical seminars. They'll run short courses, entrepreneurship, time management, managing your workload. They'll also run social activities, golfing trips, or just pub crawls, depending. It is a great way for you to actually meet engineers who are fresh out of college, somebody who could be 10 years out of college, or an engineering manager. It is essential that you start getting to know these people, because they're the people who, when it comes to it, will say, do you know what, there's an engineering position opening up in the next while, why don't you give me your CV and I'll give it to the department head in that area. That means that you've actually bypassed what we call the HR hurdle. HR hurdle, for anybody who doesn't know, is that a HR, when you apply for a job, and they may have 500 applicants, a HR person's job is not to actually hire you. A HR person's job is to get rid of your CV. Because the engineering manager just wants to see 5 to 10 CVs at most. They don't want to see anything over that. So if you have any mistake on your CV, if there's any typo or anything like that, your CV will be gotten rid of. So if you can bypass that HR hurdle and get your CV directly into the engineering manager's hand through networking, through the various different ways that we will allow you to do it, then you should take it. Young Engineers Society is probably the largest society in Engineers Ireland. It is 2 minutes. It's got about 9,000 members. It's classified as anybody under 35, so you have chartered engineers there, project managers, engineering managers. It is a great way of actually meeting young engineers who are fresh out of college or people who are in industry at the moment. They run lots of different events. They run site visits to Kilburn Camp, for instance, Shannon Aerospace, There's the European Young Engineers Conference. It's all done for free for you guys. It's your membership organisation. It is completely up to you whether or not it's an invoice once a year. If you start using the benefits that we have put in place for you, you will get a lot out of it. If you start networking in the various different regions or through the Cork region, you will get a lot out of it. Just to let you know, there is anybody who is a student member with us will gain a 75% discount on their first year's fees. They will get a 50% discount on their second year's fees. They'll get a 25% discount on the third year fees after graduation. It will actually be 4 years before you will be paying full fees. 4 years after graduation before you will be paying full fees. Just to let you know, full fees, once you're 4 years out, will be €255. If you are going to do postgraduate study, or if you are job seeking once you graduate, contact me or contact my colleague Julie Goggins, and we'll reduce that rate down to €35, and that will cover you as a full member of Engineers Ireland for the year. 30 seconds? I'm done. Okay. Again, I can't stay, unfortunately, but if anybody does have any questions, email address again is orwilson@engineersireland.ie, or you can contact me on 01665 1317. Okay.
My name is Sue Hurley from CPAM. I'm HR manager with the group. Just to tell you a little bit about the company, I'm sure some of you may have heard about us before. We're electrical and engineering company. The engineering construction abroad. We have no work in Ireland. We're looking for people to think bigger. There's plenty of opportunities abroad. Our base is in Clonmel and Tipperary. It's a family-run company, and we're looking to take on electrical engineers, instrumentation engineers, mechanical engineers, and quantity surveyors for a lot of projects around the world, including the Middle East, where the majority of work is at the moment. Just to tell you a little bit about CPAN, our company is broken down into 4 different business or end units. It's oil, gas and chemicals, automation, control, information and security systems, industrial and infrastructure, and global strategic services. This is our global spread. As you can see, the head office is in Ireland. We have bases then across the globe, so if you're interested in travelling and literally taking on the experience to gain great experience with a very professional electrical engineering company, CPAM would be the one to apply to. We have our oil, gas and chemical project experience, you can see here. We have done, this is just a sample of some of our experience. I'm going to run through quite quickly because obviously we're under a timeline, a deadline. We have Petrobik expansion project in Saudi Arabia. This project was run over 30 months. Cartagena oil refinery project in Colombia. This is a project that finished last year. It was worth $50 million to the company. Saudi Cayenne petrochemical plant that was run over 24 months. And Abu Dhabi SGD plant, that is a project that is currently running. We actually have, you'll see later on in the presentation, there is a guy there that was taken on last year and doing very well there. In automation, control, information and security systems project experience, we've been involved in the Olympic Games, security systems there. The Doha International Airport in Qatar, we have been involved in MEP works there and projects that varied from $35 million in scope of work up to $72 million. So we're talking about really large scale work. Heathrow Airport, we have been involved in the installation and testing of fire alarm cables. That's been ongoing for Terminal 5A, B and C. South Hook LNG plant is a liquid natural gas plant. We have a project there that finished in 2012. Currently, globally, we have about 3,600 employees. I was explaining earlier on there, James Moore and his graduate quantity surveyor is out on our job on SGD. in Abu Dhabi, and he just came back with a comment about working with CPAM. As you can see here, he says working for a multinational company allows you to grow as a person as well as a professional. Seeing the world whilst engaging with multiple cultures is an experience you can't buy. Shane Fitzgerald is a mechanical engineer. He's working with us at CPAM Qatar on that project in Doha International Airport. He started with us in 2012. He said, it's been a great experience for me. I've never had the chance to see a part of the world. I've had the chance to see a part of the world that I never expected to travel to. I've had the opportunity to complete interesting, rewarding and often challenging work. I've met many interesting people of various backgrounds and nationality. I'm continually learning. Abdul Rahman, he's a BD executive with us. He's based out in Saudi Arabia. He said CPAM has a dynamic working environment, providing different challenges every day, exciting and complex product, and great work colleagues and management offering you the potential to grow and gain experience. Just I suppose, how do you get that international job? You really, if you want to actually take on the experience of getting out abroad and working abroad, you really have to have a realistic understanding of living abroad. We do find people might say, yeah, no problem with travelling, and then when you get your flight ticket to Saudi Arabia or Qatar, someone might say, oh, I didn't realise I have to be away for so long. It is a great experience, but you need to realise if you have any family commitments, travelling and working abroad, it's not all glamorous. You are working long hours, right? You're going to tell you straight out, you're working 6 days a week. There's plenty of opportunities there. Having said that, you're working with great, very senior project managers, you're gaining great experience. And I suppose what I've found, since I've been with the company 5 years now, is that if I read Gradual, who has been out working with us for 1 year, that experience of 1 year experience is worth about 4 years experience in Ireland. You are really working on huge scale projects. You're getting great exposure, you're getting a lot more responsibility than you would perhaps in a similar company in Ireland. Your flexibility to adapt to change is hugely important. The character of the candidate is important. You need to be able to work with a multicultural environment. The ability to work, as I said, with different nationalities. Any health and family requirements, that needs to be taken into consideration if you're going to take an international job. And your ability to work within a team, as I'm sure you've all been told several times, is hugely important. The benefits of working with CPAM. Project experience, we're involved in some of the largest oil and gas projects in the world. We look at projects from $20 million up to $150 million. Mentoring, working with senior project managers with over 30 years experience, you are working with some of the industry's best, okay? The financial rewards and benefits, on some of the locations that we're in, it's tax-free package, your accommodation is provided for, your flights back and forth to Ireland are provided for, your transportation is provided for, and you get a living allowance as well, so what you earn is your own. Friendships, cultural experiences, and friendships, it's something that is really important abroad as well. People kind of live together and look after each other. Professional network, as Richard was saying earlier, who you are networking with and the opportunities you can get is very important, so it's important that you put yourself out there. Making a difference, you're involved in some projects like infrastructure projects and so in countries where it will make a huge difference to that country. So you are involved in projects that do make a difference. Bringing your career to the next level. As I said earlier, the experience you get is huge, the projects that you're on is huge, you're going to get more responsibility over there. So you're definitely get a good grounding when you come out of college and if you go straight into a job like that. An international track record, as I said, 1 year's experience is very, very good on your CV. Considering some of the responsibilities that you'll have. The opportunities with CPAM, we have grown over the last few years. As I say, we're 3,600 employees at the moment, and we are looking to take on about 40 graduates this year across a number of disciplines. So you're talking electrical engineering, mechanical, civil, quantity surveying and instrumentation. If you're interested, you can talk to me outside. I'll be here after the presentations. You can log on to our website where we have more detail in relation to the jobs and the projects that we work on at cpam.com. You can send Dave an email to recruitment@cpam.com. If you can have your application in by the 30th of November, because we'll be shortlisting then at that stage and offering people positions then by January on the basis that they will come out with a 2, 1 or higher grade. Also, as Richard was saying, in relation to LinkedIn, it's very important that you're on that as well. If anybody wants to link to me. You can just look me up, Sue Hurley, and I'll be able to talk to you as well on that, or maybe you could send in a CV to me directly. But anyway, I look forward to talking to any of you afterwards. If you have any questions at all, or any of the other location we're working in, feel free just to follow up to Stone. All right, thank you very much.
Okay, so good evening everybody. I suppose first of all to introduce us, so my name is Pat Finn, so I'm the Director of Manufacturing and Engineering with BioRin, who are now a new company based in the Cork and the Skiddy area. So I'd like to thank UCC, I suppose, for the opportunity to come here and to talk and to advise you in the jobs that we have. I suppose, unfortunately for me, approximately about 20 years ago I was sitting in those seats as well, so it's great to actually give something back and to try and help someone with their career. So just to talk to BioRin and what we're about, hopefully by the time that I finish speaking you'll know who we are, talk about our pipeline, and tell you about MPS, a little bit about that, mucopolysaccharidosis, which is a very interesting business that we're in. Talk about why you should choose BioRin, and talk about our recruitment timeline and our applications process. So in BioRin, our mission is to develop and commercialize innovative biopharmaceuticals for serious diseases and medical conditions. The plant we have here is BioRin Manufacturing Ireland Limited. So we're a subsidiary of a US-based company. So they were founded in 1997 and based in San Francisco, about 20 miles over the Golden Gate Bridge. So the company came about as we exited the Pfizer network. It's a former Pfizer site, so in August of 2011, Pfizer sold the site to BioRin, and we're now developing that for a biopharmaceutical process that will enable us to perform two different types of production in the plant. So we're going to have a perfusion capability and a fed-batch cell culture process, which will be pretty unique, I suppose, in the Cork area, that will have dual capability for manufacturing. Our first product to market was Aldurozyme, and it was for mucopolysaccharidosis 1 patients. And I suppose the message I want to say here is that it was managed through clinical trials and approval for commercialization in only 5 years. And another product that we had, Kuvan, came to market in about 3.5 years, whereas the industry standard would be up to about 9.5, 10 years. So I suppose BioRin have made huge advances in expediting the process to get drugs to market. Just at a glance, we have a very clear therapeutic strategy. So where does this all lead into engineers? It does, and I'll link it to there at the end. So we target high unmet medical need areas. We look to make a large impact on very small patient populations. So you hear about BioRin being in the orphan drug market. What that means is that the patients that we have are like 1 in 200,000 people or 1 in 300,000 people actually have that condition. One of our commercial products at the moment has less than 1,000 patients worldwide. So when we talk about orphan drugs, BioRin are actually in the sphere of ultra orphan drugs. So we do look to make that large impact with small patient populations. And our strategy is to be first to market or else best in class. So there might be someone out there with a product and we need to better that. And we have some examples of that. And again, we've developed our programs efficiently over time, and we look to reduce costs where appropriate. Also, really what the message I want you to take home from this is that we have 4 commercially approved products at the moment. So I'm just looking here, so maybe the pipeline, so we have a preclinical testing, you develop a drug to phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, you submit a biological license application to the FDA, who are a regulatory body pretty much worldwide, and then you have a marketing authorization application. So that's complete at the commercial end for 4 products worldwide. The product that we're actually going to talk about in manufacturing in Cork is going to be Galliness, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. But underneath the Galliness here, what I want to show people is that there are a number of products coming through the pipeline that have been identified and have diseases associated with them. I'll be honest, I'll tell you, I wasn't aware of these diseases a number of years ago. Mucopolysaccharidosis, I hadn't a clue what it was. There's other ones there for Pompe disease, but I'll draw your attention maybe to Batten's disease. I think people here will be aware of the prevalence of Batten's disease in Ireland, and maybe one or two high-profile cases in Kerry at the moment on that. So we have a very strong pipeline coming through, and actually behind that then there's other pipeline products in the process also. So mucopolysaccharidosis, a bit tricky to get that out there, but I suppose what these are rare metabolic diseases, and we refer to these as MPS 1 to 7, so there are about 7 different categories of this. And I suppose the one that we're talking about is morchial disease. It's for MPS 4A, and where it gets morchial from is the doctor who first described the disease. The disease is called after him in this case. So what causes it? So I suppose there's an ongoing process going on in your body where where material enters your cell, you look to break it down, and that produces a byproduct which is effectively waste material. Children with this disease are lacking an enzyme. So in acetylgalactosamine 6-phosphatase is actually the enzyme that's missing, so I'll definitely call that GALNES from now on, okay? Lack of this enzyme causes a problem for these kids, and these kids go on to become adults, and the problems only manifest themselves over time as this waste material builds up in their cells. So how this is manifested is that people may have walking and breathing difficulties. They could be short in stature, have abnormal chest shape, and have bone and joint deformities. So it's a debilitating illness if you meet somebody with it. So here, all I want to talk about is this lysosomal storage disease. And here you can see a healthy cell, and within our cells are lysosomes, and lysosomes are the work function that actually break down waste material and process it and get rid of it in our bodies. What actually happens is that because we're missing this enzyme, we have build-up of these carbohydrates in our cells, causing the cells to swell, and that's why these patients suffer from this disease. If people want to log on to the BioMarin website, there's actually that actually runs onto a video which is very interesting and gives an outline of how the process actually works. So product for Shambally. So Shambally is in Ringaskiddy, beside Graphene Golf Club, if there's any golfers here in the group. So what we're doing, we're going to, because this enzyme is missing in the patients, we're looking to introduce this enzyme for them. So it's an enzyme replacement therapy is what we're developing for Morchio A. Our market is going to be our largest MPS market for BioMarin, and I suppose, whereas I said a minute ago, one of our products commercially launched has 1,000 patients. We've identified 3,000 patients already for this. And I suppose we work in the biotechnology sector, and biotechnology is the fastest growing sector in the drug industry. And I think if you look around Cork and look at the API plants and the reaction that they have to the marketplace at the moment, you can see that biotechnology is coming to the fore. I suppose hopefully give a flavour, we're very science, but we're also very patient focused in BioMarin. We've had patients on site, and really, if you meet a patient who's on your drug and who has a life and who can actually lead a normal functioning life because of this medicine, it helps you get up in the morning. It's a real motivator that you're actually contributing something positive to someone's life. Development. So personally, I think people are going to get a lot out of working with BioMarin. Similar to what Sue spoke about there a second ago about responsibilities. People will have responsibilities, and they will increase over time to allow you make decisions that will impact products, which ultimately will impact patients. So you will have that responsibility in BioMarin. We're starting up the facility in the next 18 months, so you're going to get a vast amount of experience going through a startup process. It's very challenging, but I suppose we've seen people come out the other end, and they've come out different people, and they've vast experience post that. We have a very strong technical career track also, if people are interested in progressing there. And I suppose Shambally as a hub is that we're building different parts of the business in Cork. So it's not just manufacturing. We have a finance sector, even appropriate here, but also drug product testing and material and packaging and labelling, which is significant money for the business. So what are we looking for? So we're looking for a wide variety of roles. and we're looking at approximately taking on 100 candidates in the next 18 months sort of time frame. There are some roles available currently. And they can be applied, and I'll talk about how you apply for those. But other roles are going to come on after Christmas, and late next year, an increasing number will come available. So here we're talking about number of roles in manufacturing, quality, validation, and up top, facility services. Don't just limit yourself to facility service and engineering, because engineering is in the title. You've got engineering and manufacturing science and technology. You've quality engineering, you've quality validation engineering. So in all those roles, there's applications for engineers. Finally, just on the next steps of recruiting, so I've spoken about how there are opportunities out there at the moment, and we'd encourage people to send your CV to shambali@boymarine.com this year, and also to check out our website. And from January next year, people will be able to apply for those jobs online. Really, what I actually invite people to do is do both. I'm out of time apparently. So myself and Imelda is here from HR. We'll be around, we can hang around.
I'd like to thank the Career Service and Linda and our colleagues for the opportunity to be here, and in particular I want to thank you for hopefully listening. What I'm going to do is talk, I hope, for no more than about 6 minutes, and I have a little video clip lasting about 3. And that should bring me in under the time restraint, because if I don't deliver, I'm going to be killed. I'm sorry for the voice, and if there's a bit of spluttering and coughing during this, I'm nursing a chest infection, so I'll try and struggle through this. Now, I want to do a couple of things very briefly. I want to talk very quickly about the history of the Kingspan Group. I want to tell you a little bit about the products and the countries in which the group currently operates. I want to talk about the kinds of people that we're going to be looking for, and I want to talk to you about the actual, how you actually apply. Kingspan as a company is 40 years old. Started in Cavan, in Kingscourt in County Cavan, and in the words of the present group chief executive, the company was started by his father, who's now the chairman, the non-executive chairman, and his brother-in-law. And when I asked Jean some years ago, what did they start doing, I was told bashing metal in a barn and doing anything else they could to make money. I can stand here quite confidently and say, we're still bashing metal, but in a much more sophisticated way. So today the company has grown considerably, and despite a blow in the solar plexus in 2008 and 2009 with the downturn in the Irish economy, turnover this year will fall somewhere between 1.6 and 1.7 billion euro. And in fact, there's an interim management statement due to be released at the stock exchange very early next week, and that will give you the very latest information. I'm not privy to it, and even if I was, I couldn't share it with you this evening. Okay. We design and develop a range of products, and very innovative products for the construction industry. And they're primarily energy related. And if I was making this presentation to you 5 or 6 years ago, I wouldn't have been talking about wind generators, I wouldn't have been talking about photovoltaic cells and quite a range of other things. All of what we produce come from the people within the company. So we currently have a presence, a marketing and sales presence in over 30 countries. And we have manufacturing plants currently in Ireland on both sides of the border. We're in England, Scotland and Wales, we're in France, we're in Belgium, we're in the Netherlands. We're manufacturing also in Poland, Hungary, and the Czech Republic, in Turkey. We're in the Gulf. We are in Australia, Canada and the United States. We've come very close to buying some businesses in India. We have a sales team in India, sales development team in India. We've come very close to buying businesses there in the last few months, but the deals have fallen through so far. So we're not sure where we stand with that situation. But one thing I do have to say to you, and very bluntly, if you're not prepared to live and work abroad, don't apply to Kingspan. We're Irish, we're headquartered here, we're proud of it, we will stay here. But less than 5% of our turnover now comes from Ireland. And when the island recovers, as it will eventually, despite who we have in Kildare Street and elsewhere, we're still going to be a tiddly population of 6+ million people, and it ain't enough to support us any more than many other organisations in this country. So our future is abroad, and wherever we go, I suppose I shouldn't really say this, we want an Irish presence. Now, we're looking for a range of engineers, and if you ask me how many, I'd say up to 10, but it very much depends. We'll get it down to a final, probably 28, and it'll very much depend on the interaction during the final stage of the selection process, of the interaction between the candidates and the selectors on the day. We've taken as few as 5, and we've taken as many as 14, so I'll get the odds in between. Okay, we want, from an engineering point of view, we want mechanical and manufacturing people. We want civil with a heavy bias, preferably structure. We want chemical and process. We want energy systems engineers. We're very interested in also in electrical and electronic people, but particularly with an energy focus. The application process, how shall I put it, with apologies to the ladies present, is a pain in the ass. Okay? There's an 8-page application form, no CV. It has to be through the application form. It puts everybody on an equal footing. You go to the web, you go to the group web page, look at careers, follow the links through to the application form. Do not attempt to fill it in online. I will not be held accountable for what is likely to happen to it. You simply open it and download it and save it as a Word document, complete it, and then send it back to us by December 16th. We are committed. You do us the privilege of replying to us for a vacancy. We are making a firm commitment to you that we'll view it, we'll screen it, and we'll assess it. And we will come back to you by the end of the second week in January. If you've applied and you haven't heard from us, then something has gone wrong. And that something may be an electronic glitch, or it may be, again, if you've forgive the bluntness, it may be that I've screwed up, in which case you bring it to my attention, I will fix it. The only fundamental requirement that we have to be considered for Kingspan is that you either have a level 8 or expect to get a level 8 or higher degree. And note, I haven't said what grade because it doesn't matter to us. Some of the biggest idiots I know have strings of letters after their names. My family are not here tonight because if they were, there'd be a number of fingers pointing in my direction. Okay? And unfortunately, my other half isn't here because she will wax lyrical on the subject. We will view the whole of the application form. Yes, there's a page that calls for your educational requirements, like the attainments, I think, or your expectations. I think it's page 3. But it is only part of the process. So we will view it. And when we make the offers, which will be sometime towards the end of next March, the beginning of April, before the majority of those we're taking have either finished their primary degree or postgrad qualifications, the only condition will be that you get your exam. There will be no caveat about it to them. Okay? Now, I think that's all I want to say. What was that? Now let me see if I can get this thing to work. Oh. Let's see if this will work. Yeah, here we go.
In my opinion, to be successful in Kingspan, you certainly need to be self-motivated, innovative, adaptive, and obviously willing to travel. There's a huge amount of knowledge and experience in the business, and if you have any advice, is to try and suck it up as much as you can from as many different people across a wide variety of departments.
There are several different examples of where I believe I've been very successful so far in my career at Kingspan. Most notably was the 5 years that I spent in North America. There I got a chance to grow both personally and professionally. From a personal note, I got to experience new cultures, new people, make lots of friends, travel all over North America, but at the same time developing my career within the group.
To be successful in Kingspan, you have to be committed and show that you can add value to the business. Graduates get the opportunity early on in their careers to work on both individual and team projects to make a real difference. The highlight of my career in Kingspan to me was in 2010 when I was appointed Operations Director for our renewables business in the UK. This gave me the experience of managing a multi-site operation. I was responsible for 220 employees across 6 manufacturing sites.
My greatest achievement working for Kingspan has been moving to Australia for 4 months to help with the rebranding of a recently acquired company then. The opportunity to get to work with different style of management, a different company, a different social and economic environment was definitely a valuable experience.
Understanding not only the market but also the people and the culture within each country is an essential marketing criteria. A major achievement in the last year has been the strengthening of our position in Europe. It's all about getting the right message out there, so we need to tell the Germans how efficient our product is, the Polish people how affordable it is, and the French people how elegant it is.
My greatest achievement is certainly coming out here 3.5 years ago to the US after spending 4 years in the UK and Ireland and setting up our environmental and solar office here in the US. It's been an exciting adventure. We've gone from a market research project to now a large team of people servicing the whole of the US and Canadian market.
In the last year, we've hit some major milestones. The first would have been our presence at Gradual, which is a major European exhibition in Paris last year. Also then launching our new showroom and offices in Paris.
My greatest achievement was regional sales and engineering managers on the west coast of America. To get here, it took 3 years of working in a brand new automated manufacturing facility ported out in Northern Ireland. I've been lucky enough to see the product go right from manufacture all the way through to installation.
Thank you.
I'm here to talk to you about Accenture, and thank you very much for having me. And I suppose one of the biggest questions that gets asked, especially for consulting companies, is what do you do, who are you, and what do you do? I suppose Accenture is really a company who helps other companies come up with solutions to problems. Sometimes these are sort of philosophical type problems or strategic problems where they're helping form a strategy or change an organization. And then other times it's really more technology solutions where we're trying to implement change and drive behavior through technology. So when we look at some of these companies and some of these organizations, that's the kind of things that we've been doing. So if we take, for example, Kerry Group, it's a major Irish company, a food manufacturing company across the world, who, and what we're doing for them is we're implementing SAP, which is an enterprise resource planning solution. It's really a tool to help them run their business more efficiently. So here in Ireland, we designed that solution, and Irish people are implementing that solution across the globe. Again, in revenue, we would have been involved in helping revenue to streamline their processes. Some of them are maybe more popular than others. We did implement the revenue online service, and we're also involved in some of the work around collecting the local property tax. Now, whether that's something you want to say you're involved in, certainly that's an activity we're involved in. In Irish Water, we're helping Irish Water set up the company itself and then put in the systems behind that to make sure that we manage their infrastructure, their financial systems, and make sure we understand how they organise themselves and help them organise themselves in the most effective way. So those are the kinds of projects that we worked on. Really, we're organising in quite a complex way in some respects, but in other respects it's logical. We do have clients across all of these streams, so in comms, media and tech, that would be clients like Vodafone. In financial services, many of the big banks would come to us to help them come up with solutions to their problems. Health and public services, we would have clients there. Similar to BHI in products, I'm working on a project in Cork for a company called Avery Dennison. So we're a products, they have a very definite product, they produce labels, and we're helping them with some of their solutions. And then resources would be clients like Irish Water or like Bord Gáis in Cork as well. So really the streams across the way are the types of solutions or types of services we provide. So consulting is where we're helping form the solution or come up with the answer to the problem. And solutions would be where you're really coding the solution. So if there's a technology answer to the problem, that we would respond to that with a technological solution. The solutions really are the backbone of the organisation in terms of providing the technological answer to the solution, being a digital answer, HTML, Java, all of the various different tools that they would use to come up with the solution. Management consulting is where they're really focused on the strategy and the organisational impact. And then we have a new branch in Ireland, we're the leaders in Accenture for data analytics. We have a large analytics centre where they process data and help organisations to better understand the information that they have. And typically the example people use is for Target. Target are able to tell from the information that's provided to them by their consumers through their loyalty programs exactly what it is that they're buying, when during the year they're buying it, what products they most like, and they can target all of their promotions to their clients based on that information. So the data analytics tool is something that's becoming more and more prevalent to help businesses get really to the core of what it is that they do and how to interact with their customers better. Why Accenture? Well, really, I suppose it depends on what you're interested in. I joined Accenture about 2 years ago. I had come from a manufacturing company background. I worked in their IT organisation implementing Oracle, which is from my point of view, it's a financial tool to help organisations organise their finances. It also covers the entire enterprise, but the piece that I've worked on was really specifically around financials, and I wanted the opportunity to work in a bigger company, to be a part of a bigger organisation, to see how the best companies implement their systems, to see what the leading practices are, what's the best way of doing something, who are the best companies doing the best things, and how do I get involved in that. And it was really a push from having an opportunity to work for a company who has the most interesting work, who has really strong people and who wants to promote those people. So that was a major push for me to join Accenture, was that they have quite an emphasis on progression, and they will certainly encourage you, and Accenture works very hard to develop people in the sense of making sure that they have developed skills and are adequately rewarded and promoted for the work that they've done, that they're given the opportunity to take responsibility, and that they're given the opportunity to really move at quite a fast pace. So we would have examples of people in our teams who have done degrees in UCC, maybe graduated in 2012, and now are sitting across from a treasury director for a company and providing input in those meetings. So really you have the opportunity to get a great experience and really interact with people of all different levels, work with teams offshore in India, work with teams in the US, work with teams here in Ireland, and help clients who are perhaps 30 years into a career to maybe see things from a different point of view. They're the kind of opportunities we really have in Accenture. There is no product apart from people in Accenture, so that's why there's such a strong focus on developing people, making sure that they're part of, they feel like that you feel like you're part of something. So typically graduates would come in and would start as part of a start group of maybe 10 people, and they really form your first network. They're the first people that you rely on to know, are you doing the right things, are you moving in the right direction, are you getting the right experiences, how are they experiencing clients, how are you experiencing clients, and give you the opportunity to have a group of people that you know going through the same things as you at the same point in their career. And it's also a strong social outlet. I mean, we have a lot of organisations. The surfing club is massively popular. There's rugby, soccer, Gaelic football, trips, theatre and whatnot. So it's a very social place. It's a place where really you can have quite an interesting social life, as well as it's a real work hard, play hard kind of atmosphere. In terms of the benefits, in consulting the starting salary is 31,000 and overtime is paid. you can bump up your holidays instead of taking the money for the overtime, but that's really a choice that you can make yourself. There are a number of other benefits, but really, aside from the benefits here, the benefits are in having an interesting career, and having a career where you can progress quite quickly from an analyst through to a consultant to manager, senior manager, and really make an impact that way. So then, in terms of where you sit, Dublin is the headquarters of Accenture globally. So it gives people the opportunity to really see how the organisation works in general. The board of directors meets there quarterly, so you have quite a degree of exposure to the entire organisation. There are other elements that perhaps we can move quickly through in terms of corporate citizenship. So we would have 2 days a year that the company devotes for each person to get involved in charitable events. So you could maybe devote your time to concern, you could devote your time to the Vincent de Paul, and you can do that and be paid for those 2 days. Equally, you could maybe be giving CV workshops or the like to make sure that Accenture is giving something back to the community. So that's something that's very important. Let's just move through some of these. I suppose the people that we are looking for are people who adapt quickly to change, who are comfortable in situations where they need to think quickly, think strongly, or team players always, who have the ability to take responsibility for something and drive it through to completion, to really take something and own it, and really want to make the most of the opportunity they've been given. There are some minimum requirements, but really we're focused more on what the person can do and what sort of value they can bring to the company. So really the final slide we have here is how do you join? There are really 3 rounds of interviews for the solution stream. There is a technical test. In consulting, there are 2 rounds of interviews. There's an online application, 2 rounds of interviews, and then finally there is a case study which has been introduced this year, and the closing date is the November 22nd. So they're the 2 key strict tracks that you can go down in your solutions or consulting. And should you choose consulting, really the options are technology, management consulting, or analytics. So do you want to be part of the analysis? Do you want to be part of the strategy? Or do you really want to be part of the technology team? So they're the options that we have.